Last night, your soulmate went on a date. Perhaps they were searching for something new, following curiosity, or simply exploring a path life placed before them. But something unexpected happened. Not necessarily drama, not heartbreak, not betrayal, something far more profound. Because life has a strange way of using unexpected moments to awaken deeper truths. Sometimes people travel far, only to understand what truly speaks to their soul. Sometimes they seek answers outside themselves, only to discover that the deepest answers were waiting quietly within. And perhaps the most important lesson is this: your value has never depended on another person's choices. Your journey is not about chasing certainty. It is about becoming so deeply connected to yourself that whatever unfolds becomes a source of wisdom rather than fear. Attraction and attachment are often mistaken for one another, yet psychology teaches us that they arise from very different places within the human experience. Attraction is usually immediate and can be influenced by appearance, novelty, chemistry, curiosity, or even circumstances. It is a natural response that draws people toward one another. Attachment, however, develops gradually. It is built through trust, emotional safety, consistency, and shared experiences. While attraction may spark interest, attachment is what sustains meaningful relationships over time. Human beings are naturally curious creatures. Throughout life, people meet different individuals, encounter new personalities, and explore connections that seem exciting or intriguing. This does not necessarily mean they have discovered something deeper. In many cases, attraction simply reflects a temporary emotional response. Novelty itself can create excitement because the mind is designed to notice new experiences. Yet excitement and emotional depth are not always the same thing. Psychologists have long understood that genuine attachment involves more than emotions alone. It includes vulnerability, empathy, understanding, and mutual support. A person feels attached not merely because someone makes them happy in a particular moment, but because they experience acceptance, trust, and emotional security in that relationship. Attachment grows when two individuals consistently show up for each other, communicate honestly, and navigate challenges together. It is not built overnight. Like a tree with deep roots, meaningful attachment requires time and patience. Sometimes individuals explore new relationships or experiences believing they are searching for something better. Yet these experiences often become opportunities for self-discovery. Through comparison and reflection, people begin to understand what truly matters to them. They may realize that external excitement cannot replace emotional peace. They may discover that being understood is more valuable than being impressed. Such realizations are not signs of failure, they are signs of emotional maturity. Carl Jung believed that much of human behavior is influenced by unconscious desires and inner patterns. People are often drawn toward experiences that help them learn more about themselves. What appears to be a random attraction may actually be part of a deeper journey toward self-awareness. Sometimes life presents new encounters not because they are meant to become permanent, but because they reveal hidden truths about values, needs, and emotional priorities. Emotional intelligence teaches us to avoid confusing temporary feelings with lasting meaning. Strong emotions can be powerful, but they are not always indicators of compatibility. Genuine connection reveals itself through consistency, kindness, respect, and authenticity. Relationships that endure are rarely built on excitement alone. They are built on understanding and trust. Therefore, when people experience attraction elsewhere or encounter new possibilities, it does not automatically diminish the significance of meaningful bonds. Human emotions are complex, and growth often occurs through experiences that create contrast and reflection. In the end, attachment represents something far deeper than simple attraction. It reflects the human longing to be seen, understood, and accepted for who we truly are. And when such a connection is nurtured with patience and sincerity, it becomes one of the most profound experiences in life, a reminder that while attraction may open the door, it is genuine emotional connection that gives the soul a place to call home. Human beings naturally understand themselves through contrast. One of the most fascinating discoveries in psychology is that comparison, when approached consciously, is not always a source of insecurity or competition. Instead, it can become a mirror that reveals hidden emotions, unrecognized values, and deeper truths about what truly matters to the heart. Every experience, every conversation, and every new connection offers people an opportunity to understand themselves more clearly. When individuals spend time with different people, they often notice subtle differences in how they feel. One interaction may bring excitement, but lack emotional depth. Another may provide comfort, understanding, and a sense of peace. These emotional contrasts are important because they help individuals recognize what resonates with their authentic needs rather than simply satisfying temporary desires. Many people believe they know exactly what they are looking for, but psychology suggests that self-awareness often emerges through experience rather than assumptions. The mind constantly compares situations, memories, and emotions, even without conscious awareness. This process is not necessarily about deciding who is better or worse. It is about understanding what qualities create trust, safety, respect, and genuine happiness. Sometimes a person encounters someone new and unexpectedly becomes more aware of the emotional significance of another relationship. The new experience does not necessarily replace what existed before. Instead, it highlights what was previously overlooked or taken for granted. Carl Jung believed that relationships often act as mirrors for the unconscious mind. Through interactions with others, hidden desires, fears, and emotional patterns become visible. People may discover that what they once considered important is no longer enough to satisfy their deeper longing for authenticity. In this sense, comparison becomes an instrument of growth rather than a source of rivalry. It invites reflection instead of judgment. Emotional intelligence teaches that mature individuals do not fear these moments of comparison. They understand that every encounter provides information. Some experiences reveal what is missing, while others confirm what truly nourishes the soul. A person may initially be attracted to novelty or excitement, only to realize that lasting fulfillment comes from kindness, trust, understanding, and emotional presence. Such realizations often emerge unexpectedly, not through deliberate analysis, but through lived experience. This process also reminds us that human emotions are complex. People do not always recognize the value of something until they encounter alternatives that expose what makes a connection unique. Familiarity can sometimes cause individuals to overlook qualities that quietly enrich their lives. A new experience can awaken gratitude, appreciation, and deeper awareness, not because the new connection is superior, but because contrast illuminates what was once invisible. Ultimately, comparison does not have to create fear or competition. When guided by wisdom and self-awareness, it becomes a pathway toward greater emotional maturity. It teaches people to move beyond surface impressions and discover what genuinely aligns with their values. Through this process, individuals become more honest with themselves, more compassionate toward others, and more capable of building relationships rooted in authenticity rather than illusion. In this way, even unexpected experiences can become powerful teachers, helping people understand not only whom they cherish, but also who they are becoming. Distance has a unique way of revealing emotions that constant presence often hides. In psychology, emotional absence does not necessarily mean rejection or loss. Instead, it can create a space where feelings, memories, and priorities become more visible. When people are immersed in routines and familiar interactions, they sometimes overlook the deeper significance of what truly matters to them. It is often only when there is silence, separation, or a change in circumstances that the mind begins to process emotions with greater clarity. This is not because absence magically creates love, but because distance interrupts habits and encourages reflection. Carl Jung believed that much of human behavior is influenced by unconscious processes. In everyday life, distractions and expectations can prevent individuals from recognizing what is happening within themselves. Moments of emotional distance, however, invite people to turn inward. They begin to notice memories they once ignored, values they had forgotten, and feelings they had not fully acknowledged. This process is not always comfortable, but it can be deeply transformative. The absence of constant interaction allows individuals to confront themselves honestly, without the noise of external influences. Modern psychology also supports the idea that periods of separation can increase self-awareness. Human beings naturally seek meaning, and when something familiar becomes less available, the brain begins to evaluate its significance. People may discover that they miss certain qualities, such as understanding, kindness, emotional safety, or shared values. In other cases, they may realize that what they thought they wanted was based more on habit than genuine connection. Either way, emotional absence serves as a mirror that reflects hidden truths. This period of reflection can also encourage personal growth. Rather than immediately reacting with fear or anxiety, emotionally intelligent individuals use these moments to understand themselves better. They ask important questions. What do I truly value? What kind of connection brings peace rather than confusion? Am I seeking love or am I seeking validation? Such questions lead to greater maturity and deeper emotional awareness. Jung described the process of individuation as the journey toward becoming whole. Along this path, periods of solitude and separation are not obstacles but opportunities. They help individuals integrate different aspects of themselves and discover authenticity. What initially feels like uncertainty can become a catalyst for wisdom. Emotional distance allows people to distinguish between temporary desires and enduring values. Another important aspect is that absence does not guarantee a specific outcome. It does not force feelings, nor does it determine the future. Instead, it creates conditions where honesty becomes possible. People become more aware of what resonates with their spirit and what does not. Sometimes this awareness strengthens appreciation and gratitude. Sometimes it reveals the need for change. Both outcomes contribute to growth. Ultimately, emotional absence should not be viewed through fear. It can be understood as a natural part of human development. Silence can teach lessons that noise cannot. Distance can uncover truths that familiarity conceals. And moments of separation often provide individuals with the opportunity to reconnect with themselves, understand others more deeply, and approach relationships with greater wisdom, authenticity, and emotional balance. Human beings naturally create stories in their minds about people, relationships, and the future. Psychology refers to this process as projection and idealization. Rather than seeing another person exactly as they are, individuals sometimes unconsciously place their hopes, desires, and expectations onto them. They imagine qualities, possibilities, and outcomes that reflect what they long for internally. This tendency is not a sign of weakness. It is part of human nature. The mind seeks meaning, and the heart seeks connection. Yet when imagination becomes stronger than reality, disappointment often follows. Carl Jung believed that much of what attracts us to others originates from the unconscious. People are often drawn to qualities they themselves desire to develop or experiences they deeply crave. In this way, another person can become a mirror for hidden dreams and emotions. We may believe we are falling in love with someone exactly as they are, while in truth we are also responding to the image we have created around them. This image may contain expectations that no real human being could completely fulfill. As relationships unfold, reality slowly replaces fantasy. Everyday experiences reveal imperfections, differences, and complexities that cannot be seen through idealization alone. This stage can feel uncomfortable because it challenges the stories we have constructed in our minds. Yet this process is not a failure. It is an invitation to maturity. Genuine emotional growth begins when individuals learn to appreciate people as they truly are rather than as they imagine them to be. Projection works in many directions. Sometimes people assign qualities to others that actually belong within themselves. They may seek confidence, peace, or unconditional acceptance from another person when these are qualities they need to cultivate internally. The unconscious mind often uses relationships to reveal unmet needs and unexplored parts of the self. Through awareness, individuals can recognize that some of the beauty they admired in others was also a reflection of their own potential. Emotional intelligence teaches that authentic relationships thrive not through fantasy, but through truth. Real connection does not require perfection. It requires understanding, patience, communication, and acceptance of human imperfections. The strongest bonds are not built upon unrealistic expectations, but upon mutual respect and honesty. Life itself becomes a teacher through this process. Sometimes a new experience or unexpected encounter causes people to realize that what they imagined was different from what truly nourishes their hearts. Such realizations are not signs that love has disappeared. Instead, they are opportunities to replace illusion with wisdom. They encourage individuals to move beyond surface attraction and discover deeper values such as trust, emotional safety, compassion, and authenticity. In the journey towards self-awareness, one of the greatest lessons is learning to distinguish between the image we create and the reality we experience. When we release unrealistic projections, we gain the ability to love with greater maturity. We stop demanding perfection from others and begin appreciating the beauty of genuine human connection. Through this awakening, relationships become less about fantasy and more about understanding, growth, and the shared experience of being imperfect souls, learning to walk together with sincerity and grace. Not every experience in life is meant to become a lifelong story, and understanding this truth is one of the most important aspects of emotional maturity. Human beings often assume that every meaningful encounter must lead to permanence, but psychology teaches us something different. Some experiences are not destinations, they are mirrors. They reflect hidden emotions, reveal unmet needs, and expose beliefs that have remained beneath the surface for years. What initially appears to be disappointment or confusion may actually be an invitation to greater self-awareness. People naturally grow through contrast. Without different experiences, it becomes difficult to understand what truly matters. Sometimes an unexpected interaction teaches someone more about themselves than years of certainty ever could. A conversation, a relationship, or even a brief encounter may reveal values, desires, fears, and emotional patterns that previously went unnoticed. These moments become opportunities to understand the self with greater honesty. Carl Jung believed that the psyche seeks wholeness, and this process often involves confronting aspects of ourselves that remain hidden in the unconscious. Experiences that surprise us can bring those hidden parts into awareness. A person may discover unresolved insecurities, unhealed wounds, or unrealistic expectations that have quietly influenced their decisions. Rather than viewing this discovery as something negative, Jungian psychology encourages individuals to see it as a step toward personal growth. Awareness creates the possibility for transformation. Modern psychology also shows that emotional resilience develops through challenges rather than comfort alone. Human beings become stronger not because life is always easy, but because difficulties teach adaptability, patience, empathy, and wisdom. A painful realization can become the foundation for greater emotional intelligence. It can help people recognize unhealthy patterns, improve communication, and cultivate healthier relationships in the future. Unexpected experiences also remind us that attraction and compatibility are not always the same. Someone may appear ideal on the surface, but deeper interactions often reveal whether values, emotional needs, and life goals truly align. These discoveries prevent people from pursuing connections based solely on fantasy or temporary excitement. Instead, they encourage authenticity and deeper understanding. Another powerful lesson hidden within unexpected experiences is the importance of self-worth. Many individuals unconsciously seek validation through relationships, believing that acceptance from others determines their value. Yet experiences that challenge expectations often reveal a deeper truth. Self-worth cannot be borrowed from another person. Genuine confidence grows when individuals learn to appreciate themselves independently of external approval. Growth also requires humility. Sometimes life teaches lessons that the ego resists. People may realize they were holding on to unrealistic hopes, avoiding uncomfortable truths, or expecting others to fulfill needs that only self-awareness and healing can address. These realizations are not failures, they are signs of evolution. Every insight gained through experience becomes part of the journey toward emotional maturity. Ultimately, no meaningful experience is ever wasted. Even situations that do not unfold as expected can provide wisdom, clarity, and a deeper understanding of the human heart. Growth does not always come through success or certainty. Often it emerges from unexpected moments that challenge assumptions and encourage transformation. In this way, life itself becomes a teacher, and every encounter, whether brief or lasting, can become a stepping stone toward greater awareness, authenticity, and inner peace. Emotional intelligence teaches one of the most powerful lessons a person can learn. Love flourishes through respect, not possession. In a world that often confuses attachment with ownership, many people mistakenly believe that caring deeply for someone means controlling outcomes, demanding certainty, or fearing every possibility that exists outside their influence. Yet healthy relationships are built on a completely different foundation. They thrive when two individuals are free to be authentic, to grow, and to choose one another without pressure or fear. Psychology reminds us that emotional maturity is not measured by how tightly we hold on to people, but by how peacefully we allow them to have their own experiences while maintaining our own sense of identity. When individuals become emotionally dependent on another person's actions, moods, or decisions, they begin to lose touch with their own center. Their happiness becomes conditional. Their peace becomes fragile. Their self-worth becomes tied to circumstances they cannot control. Emotional intelligence, however, teaches a different approach. It encourages people to develop inner stability so that love becomes an expression of abundance rather than a reaction to fear. Carl Jung often spoke about the importance of individuation, the process through which people become whole and integrated within themselves. This journey requires individuals to understand that they cannot find complete fulfillment by trying to possess another person. No relationship can replace the work of self-awareness. No amount of external validation can permanently quiet inner insecurities. True emotional growth occurs when people recognize that they are responsible for nurturing their own peace, healing their own wounds, and cultivating their own purpose. This understanding transforms relationships. Instead of operating from anxiety, people begin to operate from trust. Instead of constantly seeking reassurance, they learn to appreciate presence without demanding guarantees. They realize that genuine connection cannot be forced. It grows naturally when both individuals feel respected, understood, and accepted for who they truly are. One of the greatest signs of emotional intelligence is the ability to separate love from fear. Fear says, if I lose this person, I lose myself. Love says, I value this connection, but I also honor my own identity and growth. Fear clings. Love allows. Fear seeks control. Love seeks understanding. Fear lives in scarcity. Love lives in trust. This does not mean becoming indifferent or emotionally distant. Rather, it means developing a secure sense of self that is not shaken by every uncertainty. It means understanding that another person's choices do not define your worth. Their journey belongs to them, just as your journey belongs to you. Emotional intelligence teaches that peace comes not from controlling life, but from responding to life with wisdom and balance. Ultimately, the healthiest relationships are not built upon desperation or possession. They are built upon mutual respect, emotional awareness, and the freedom to grow together. When people stop trying to own love and begin learning how to nurture it, they discover something extraordinary. The strongest bonds are not created by force, but by trust, authenticity, and the quiet confidence that what is genuine does not need to be controlled in order to be valued. According to Carl Jung's understanding of the human psyche, much of what influences our decisions, emotions, and relationships exists beneath the surface of conscious awareness. The unconscious mind is not simply a storage place for forgotten memories. It is a living dimension of the self that constantly seeks balance, meaning, and wholeness. Jung believed that every person carries within them hidden aspects, unrealized potentials, emotional wounds, and inner truths that quietly shape their journey through life. Even when individuals believe they are making choices based solely on logic or external circumstances, deeper forces are often guiding them toward experiences that contribute to personal growth and authenticity. One of the fascinating aspects of the unconscious is that it does not always communicate through words. Instead, it speaks through feelings, attractions, recurring patterns, dreams, intuitions, and unexpected events. A person may feel strongly drawn towards someone, not fully understanding why, only to later realize that the relationship served as a mirror reflecting unmet emotional needs, hidden fears, or forgotten strengths. What initially appears to be a simple romantic attraction may actually become a catalyst for profound self-discovery. Human beings often search for fulfillment outside themselves. They seek validation, acceptance, or happiness through external achievements and relationships. Yet the unconscious continually encourages individuals to move beyond surface desires and discover deeper truths. This process is not always comfortable. In fact, moments of disappointment, uncertainty, or emotional conflict frequently become the very experiences that awaken greater awareness. The unconscious uses contrast to reveal what truly matters. Through challenges, people begin to recognize the difference between temporary excitement and lasting peace, between idealized fantasies and genuine compatibility. Jung described this lifelong journey as individuation, the gradual process of becoming a more complete and authentic person. Individuation does not mean becoming perfect. Rather, it means integrating different parts of oneself, including strengths, vulnerabilities, hopes, fears, and even the aspects that have been ignored or rejected. It is the movement toward inner harmony and self-understanding. Relationships often play a powerful role in this process because they expose both the beauty and the unresolved conflicts that exist within us. Many people fear unexpected changes or emotional detours, believing that uncertainty means something has gone wrong. Yet from a Jungian perspective, these experiences may be invitations rather than obstacles. They can guide individuals toward deeper wisdom, helping them release false identities and embrace who they truly are. What feels confusing in one season of life often reveals its purpose later. Ultimately, the unconscious seeks authenticity above appearances. It gently but persistently encourages people to live in alignment with their values, emotions, and deeper truths. When individuals learn to listen to themselves with honesty and awareness, they begin to understand that every experience, whether joyful or challenging, can become part of a greater journey toward wholeness. In this sense, life is not merely about finding answers outside ourselves, but about uncovering the wisdom that has been quietly waiting within all along. Sometimes life reveals its deepest truths through experiences that appear ordinary on the surface. Human beings often believe that certainty brings wisdom, but psychology teaches that genuine understanding frequently emerges through contrast, unexpected events, and moments that challenge our assumptions. People may enter a situation convinced they know exactly what they want, only to discover that reality offers lessons far different from what they imagined. This process is not a sign of failure. It is part of emotional growth and the natural evolution of self-awareness. Every person carries into relationships a collection of memories, expectations, desires, and unconscious patterns formed through previous experiences. These inner influences shape attraction, communication, and emotional reactions. Yet no matter how clear a person thinks their preferences are, life has a way of introducing circumstances that expose deeper truths. A new experience, a conversation, or even a brief encounter can become a mirror that reflects what the heart values most. Sometimes individuals discover that what seemed exciting in theory does not provide the emotional comfort, trust, or authenticity they truly need. Carl Jung described human development as a journey toward wholeness. According to his perspective, life continually presents opportunities for individuals to understand themselves more deeply. This process, known as individuation, does not occur through perfection or constant certainty. It unfolds through challenges, contrasts, and unexpected experiences that force people to examine their beliefs and emotional patterns. What initially appears to be confusion can become an invitation to greater clarity. What seems like disappointment can become a lesson in recognizing what genuinely nourishes the soul. Modern psychology also emphasizes that emotional intelligence grows through reflection rather than reaction. Individuals who pause to examine their experiences gain valuable insights about themselves. They begin to distinguish between temporary attraction and lasting compatibility. They recognize the difference between excitement and emotional security. They understand that healthy relationships are not built solely on passion or novelty, but on mutual respect, trust, communication, and shared values. Unexpected experiences often serve an important purpose. They challenge idealized fantasies and replace them with wisdom rooted in reality. A person may realize that what they truly seek is not perfection, but peace, not constant stimulation, but emotional safety, not external validation, but authentic connection. These realizations are signs of maturity, not loss. Life rarely follows a straight path. Sometimes detours are necessary because they reveal qualities, values, and truths that could not have been discovered any other way. The heart matures through experience, and wisdom grows when individuals stop resisting uncertainty and begin listening to what life is teaching them. No meaningful encounter is wasted when approached with awareness. Every experience has the potential to strengthen emotional intelligence, deepen self-understanding, and guide individuals toward relationships rooted in authenticity. Often, what appears to be an unexpected turn is simply life gently leading people closer to what truly matters.